The Bears' house is shaking, and it's not because of the wind coming off Lake Michigan. 3 explosive stories are rocking Hollis Hall that could change everything you thought you knew about this season. A veteran losing ground, an epic quarterback, battle splitting the coaching staff, and decisions from Ben Johnson that reveal secrets about the team's future. Ready for what's coming? Because after this, nothing will be the same in Chicago. Let's get straight to it, because what went down at Soldier Field has the whole city buzzing. In that 24-24 tie against Miami, it wasn't just about a result nobody saw coming. It was the sight of Case Keenum and Tyson. Beagent locked in such an intense battle that the coaching staff is completely split. And trust me, this competition is fiercer than anyone thought, with stakes way beyond who gets the backup quarterback job. Let's start with Tyson Beagent, kid out of Shepherd University, who came in as an undrafted free agent and, in just his second year, is fighting for a role most vets would kill for. That Sunday, he showed something that's still on my mind. He went 13 for 19 for 103 yards. But here's the real kicker. That 26-yard touchdown to Morris Alexander wasn't just a pretty throw. It was a statement. I watched that play in slow motion at least 20 times. And I've got to ask, how many second-year quarterbacks have the composure to make that read under pressure? Beagent saw the coverage, spotted Alexander with a one-on-one, edge in the back of the end zone, and dropped a perfect spiral exactly where it needed to be. That's the kind of precision Ben Johnson is looking for in his offense. But it wasn't all perfect. That first quarter pick was the result of a rushed decision, forcing a throw that just wasn't there. It dropped his rating to 77.3. And in Johnson's system, where every possession counts, mistakes like that can swing a game. What really impressed me, though, was his bounce back. After that interception, he could have panicked, gone conservative. Instead, he got bolder, sharper, more confident. That fourth down from the 31 where he connected with Luther Burden for 13 yards, that was leadership most young QBs just don't have. Beagent said afterward they had great communication out there. And that's no accident. That's hours of extra work in the gym, burning the midnight oil watching film, building chemistry with receivers most fans don't even know by name. When a QB talks about communication with that much confidence, it means they're seeing the game differently. On the other side, Case Keenum came in as the battle-tested vet. This guy's played for 8 different teams, been a starter, a backup, gone to the playoffs. He's seen every situation an NFL quarterback can face. That kind of experience isn't in any playbook. When Keenum went 8 for 10 for 80 yards with a perfect 139.6 rating, it wasn't just executing plays. It was a masterclass on reading defenses, managing the game, and taking control of an offense. That first touchdown to Deion Hankins from 4 yards out came from reading the zone coverage perfectly and finding the exact soft spot for the rookie. But the second score, 14-yard strike to Jade Walk, that was pure poetry. Keenum read the coverage over the top, anticipated Walk's break, and released the ball before the receiver even finished his cut. That's elite timing, and it comes from years in the league. What stood out most was what Keenum said about Beagent afterward. He praised his response to a rough start, noting that it's all about how you react when things don't go as planned. And really, how often do you see that level of mutual respect in a battle for the same job? Ben Johnson has a tough call ahead, and that's exactly the position he wants to be in. Having 2 QBs who can run his system means no sleepless nights over a Caleb Williams injury. It means flexibility to adapt the offense week to week. And in today's NFL, options are power. Johnson's system isn't simple, it demands multiple checks, audibles at the line, and complex post-snap reads. Keenum himself admitted, Ben's offense isn't simple or easy. It's tough for the quarterback. A lot of checks, multiple plays called in the huddle. And right now, both Keenum and Beagent are proving they can handle it. This one hurts Bears fans, because Braxton Jones was everything we love about football, the underdog story that blows past every expectation. A fifth-round pick in the 2022 draft who stepped in as a starter from day one, protecting Justin Fields' blind side for 3 straight seasons. How often have we seen that in Chicago? Jones wrapped up the 2024 season with a 77.4 Pro Football Focus grade, ranking 21st among all eligible offensive tackles. For a guy drafted 151st overall, those numbers are phenomenal. He'd blown past his draft value, proving he could hang with the league's best and earn respect across the locker room. But football is a cruel game, and injuries have been Jones' Achilles' heel after a completely healthy rookie season. Without missing a single game, he lost a combined 11 games across the 2023 and 2024 seasons. That leg injury in December didn't just take him out physically. It cost him the entire offseason program. When you miss all of preseason work after a major injury, the fallout goes way beyond the physical. You lose game rhythm, timing with your line mates, the chance to adjust to a new system. And Ben Johnson came in with an offensive scheme completely different from what Jones had in his first 3 seasons. Then came that rough Sunday against Miami, and what I saw had me worried about Jones' future in Chicago. On one play, I can't shake from my mind, he got straight up owned by a Dolphins backup defender. We're not talking Khalil Mack or Myles Garrett. We're talking about a guy who probably won't even make Miami's 53-man roster, frame by frame. The tape showed he was late to the contact point. His feet were off, his hands too high, his center of gravity way out of whack. Basic technique mistakes a 3-year NFL tackle simply cannot make, especially against second and third string defenders. The only reason that play didn't end in a brutal sack or a fumble was because Tyson Beagent had the mobility to escape and the vision to find Maurice Alexander deep in the end zone. But how many times can a QB bail out his left tackle? How often can pure athleticism cover up technical flaws? Ozzie Trapelo and Kieran Amagagi are breathing down Jones' neck, and both have flashed in practice. Trapelo, this year's draft pick, out of Wisconsin, came in with a strong pass pro rep. Amagagi, in year 2 after losing his rookie season to injury, is finally healthy and hungry to prove himself. Johnson's been crystal clear from day 1 of camp. He's not handing out jobs based on seniority or past performances. We're going to put the best 11 on the field, he said repeatedly. After what we saw against Miami, Jones might not be one of those 11 anymore. The timing is tricky. The regular season is less than a month away and changing. Your starting left tackle this late can ripple through the entire O-line. Chemistry between those 5 guys is everything, and disrupting it can hurt both pass pro and the run game. But here's the thing, if Johnson makes that switch, it'll be for a reason. He didn't come from Detroit to maintain the status quo. He came to build the best offense possible. And if that means benching a 3-year vet for a hungry rookie, then so be it. Jones has just a few weeks to prove he can get back to form. He needs to show in practice that his technique is sharp, his conditioning is at 100%, and that he can protect Caleb Williams' blind side the way he once did for Justin Fields. Because Johnson won't hesitate if he doesn't see immediate improvement. This might be the most important story of all, because that 24-24 tie with Miami told us more about Ben Johnson as a head coach than any preseason blowout win could. When was the last time you saw a Bears coach use the preseason this smartly and with this much purpose? First thing, Johnson didn't play a single one of his main offensive or defensive starters. Caleb Williams, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Rome Odunze, Montez Sweat, Jalen Johnson. They all watched from the sideline, while the backups battled it out in brutal 90-plus degree heat. And you know what? Those guys stepped up like pros. Jonathan Ford, Zach Pickens, Trey Flowers, Josh Blackwell, they fought knowing there was nobody behind them on the depth chart. That tells me more about the culture Johnson's building than any locker room speech ever could. I'm proud as a coach when I see guys go out there and give everything they've got, Johnson said after the game. And that's not just a nice soundbite. It's the philosophy of a man who knows a winning culture starts when the last guy on the roster believes they can make a difference. But here's what impressed me most: his decisions in the clutch. On 4th and 3 from Miami's 36, tied in the final minutes, most coaches would kick the 53-yard field goal to win a preseason game. Johnson? He let Austin Reed take a shot deep to Jade Walker. Incomplete. Eye broke. That called down for hours afterward and came to one conclusion: Johnson isn't coaching to win preseason games. He's coaching to build the team he wants in January. He wanted to see how Reed handled pressure, if Walker could separate deep, if the O-line could hold up in a must-have situation. That mindset is what separates great coaches from average ones. Eberflus? He'd have kicked it. John Fox? Probably. Ran it up the middle. Lovie Smith? Played it safe. Johnson chose learning over the scoreboard, long-term growth over instant gratification. And that wasn't his only gutsy call. On defense, 4th and 15 from the Bears' 45, he sent an all-out blitz that ended in a sack by safety Alex Cook. Could have played soft coverage and waited for a mistake. Instead, he tested his young players under fire. He also used certain starters strategically for position battles. Tyreek Stevenson and Nashin Wright, both fighting for CB2, got reps. Braxton Jones and Ozzie Trapelo both played because the left tackle spot is still up for grabs. Every snap had a purpose. Our goal was 10 to 12 snaps for the guys competing for jobs, Johnson said, and that kind of precise planning shows he leaves nothing to chance. Sure, the injuries piled up: Eamon Ogbongbemiga, shoulder; Major Burns, knee; Terrell Smith, groin; Travis Homer, calf; and Luke Newman, concussion protocol. But Johnson had zero regrets. Some guys, knowing there was nobody behind them, fought. Through it stepping out for a few plays or coming back in to finish, Johnson said with obvious pride. And that's exactly the mentality he wants throughout the roster. The limited use of starters also kept them fresh and healthy for week one, while letting them study from the sideline. Caleb Williams spent the game taking mental notes, watching Keenum and Beagent run the offense, seeing what works against different defenses. Johnson came from Detroit with a rep as an offensive innovator. But what we're seeing in Chicago is bigger. He's not just an offensive mind anymore. He's a head coach with a complete vision, thinking about all three phases, building a culture built to last. Bears Nation, after breaking down everything we've covered today, I need you to really think about what's happening at Hollis Hall. We're witnessing something we haven't seen in decades: a head coach with a clear vision who isn't afraid of hard decisions, who's putting long-term growth over short-term optics. But I've got questions for you. Drop your answers in the comments, because your takes matter for the future of this community. Quarterback, battle does Tyson Beagent have the higher ceiling and deserve the QB2 job, or is Case Keenum's experience more valuable for a young team? I'll tell you what I think: Beagent's the future, but Keenum might be the safer crisis option. What's your call? Braxton Jones, can he bounce back to 2024 form and keep his job? Or is it time to let someone like Ozzie Trapelo take over? Because those technical mistakes against Miami have me worried his athleticism may never fully return. What do you see? And the big one, are you willing to trust Ben Johnson's process, even if it means sacrificing some early wins for bigger payoffs down the road? There will be moments this season where the media, other fans, maybe even you, question his calls. The truth? This team's been stuck in mediocrity too long because we've had coaches who played not to lose instead of to win. Leaders who chose the safe choice over the right one. Seasons where raw talent never translated to team success. Johnson's here to change that mindset. That tie against Miami, just the start. He's going to develop Caleb Williams in a way no rookie Bears QB has ever been developed. He's going to maximize DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and Rome Oduns in ways we can't even picture yet. He's going to build a defense that matches his offensive firepower. But he can't do it alone, and neither can I. Bears fans, this channel exists because of people like you who bleed navy and orange year-round. People who know being a Bears Fan isn't just a Sunday hobby, it's a lifelong commitment to hard work, grit, and excellence. If you feel like this breakdown gave you insight you won't get anywhere else, if you believe we get the complexity of what's going on here, if you value the time we spend studying every play, every call, every move, then join the family. Subscribe right now, because every sub tells me there's one more person committed to this journey. One more person who knows the Bears deserve better than mediocrity. One more ready to ride through the highs and lows, the wins and losses. Everything this season's going to throw at us. Drop a like if you believe Ben Johnson is building something special in Chicago. Comment with your answers to my questions. I want to know how you see this team's future. And if you really want to back this content, share it with other Bears fans who need to hear these takes, because this is just the beginning, Bears Nation. We've got a camp to follow, 3 more preseason games to break down, and a regular season that could be the most exciting in years. And when the playoffs come, when we're fighting for a Super Bowl, I want to remember this moment as the start of something historic. See you in the next video, where we'll keep tearing apart every move, every call, every play that gets us back to being kings of the North. In this family, we never stop believing, never stop fighting, and never ever stop being Bears. Bear down, family. See you soon.